Welcome into the Gridiron Grind, Creta 3, Jimmy G, episode 3 of the 2024 season. What an exciting first week. Jimmy, raise your hand if your team scored over 50 and had a shutout in week one. For you
I think
podcast
that's both of us.
listeners, both me and Jimmy have our hands up. Razorbacks break a record, scored a touchdown on all 10 possessions, win 70-0. Longhorns win 52-0. Both teams look great in a shutout, Jimmy. It was a great start to the season.
Yeah, they said, what's the football equivalent to the perfect game, right? Like the perfect game in baseball, we know what that is. Perfect game in bowling, we know what that is. And now they're going, I guess it's scoring a touchdown on all your possessions and forcing your opponent to punt. So Arkansas had the equivalent of the perfect game in Bobby Petrino's first game back there in Fayetteville. And, you and I kind of talked about it. No, it's Arkansas Pine Bluff, right? That's not lost on me.
Yeah.
But how bad was Jimbo Fisher when he had a better team, arguably better team than what Arkansas has this year, and the same offensive coordinator, but A&M never dominated a team, regardless of talent level like that? I'm going, dude, Jimbo is I think he had lost it. And then to add a knife, kind of knife salt in the wound, he sold that plaque that A&M got him.
Yeah.
That's national championship 2000.
Yep.
You fill in the dash. I love that he sold that to a bar in Austin.
Yeah.
Like just just I'm out. I hate you guys. Big middle finger. Here's that.
Thanks
Now
for
a
the
bar
money.
in Austin has that plaque. So yeah, good. The Hogs look good. Big test this week though.
Absolutely. Big test. But yeah, it just goes to show how much he might have been holding Bobby P back because the Hogs might have their swagger back. Bobby P calling up touchdown play. That quarterback was electric. So it'll be exciting for the Hogs. Week one, we'll recap some week one headlines. Georgia dominates Clemson. Miami dominates Florida. Notre Dame, like you said, gets the win over Texas A&M in a defensive slugfest. USC in the game of the weekend, USC with the win over LSU. And then last night, or Monday night, Florida State loses to Boston College. Florida State 0-2 to start the season after starting the season ranked top 10, going undefeated last year in the regular season. So which one of those headlines stands out to you, Jimmy?
Probably the Florida State one, because it just kind of sends everything home that DJ Uiagalelei, or however you say it, is just not good.
He's that bad
at all. I mean, you go back and look at that recruiting class. Some rankings had him above CJ Stroud. Some had him below CJ. I'm like, this guy was a top two quarterback of that draft. And he is terrible.
He'll always have that Clemson game from 2020 when he beat Notre Dame, when he was starting quarterback. It's like,
that's it.
What is your talent evaluation, Mike Norvell? You pay to get this guy in the transfer portal, and he's already ruined your season. I mean, he was missing guys Monday night against Boston College wide open, and he's just flat out missing them, not even close. That stands out. I got to say, USC's win over LSU. Miller Moss looked phenomenal, like 360 yards. Lincoln Riley had the stud and Caleb Williams. Gets rid of him. Nobody's talking about USC. The defense much improved. LSU's defense was improved too. USC getting that win, that was big time. USC might be something to have a say in the Big Ten race this year.
Yeah, and look for Miller Moss. I mean, I know it's game one. Let's not, drink the Kool-Aid yet. But Miller Moss also, especially with Riley's track record on quarterbacks.
Yep.
Miller Moss is going to be on some watch list.
Right.
Could be on the Heisman watch list. So that, like you said, nobody kind of talking about him. USC sort of coming in under the radar a little bit, and they're going to be one to definitely, like you said, have a say and make some noise there in the Big Ten.
Yeah, especially like teams like Oregon. Oregon struggled with Idaho. And it's not that they struggled, their offensive line struggled. They could not run the football. Dylan Gabriel was getting pressured right up the middle, and he completed 41 passes, but they were all dink and dunks because he had to get rid of the football Oregon, I never thought I'd see the day where Oregon couldn't block Idaho. That was crazy to watch. They score they're only up 3 late in the fourth. They score like a touchdown with 2 minutes to go to make it 24-14. I mean, they were on the ropes against Idaho at home. That made me reevaluate what I thought about Oregon.
100%. It made sense, everything we thought about Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
But I thought Oregon as a whole, with the transfer portal,
Right.
cleaned up in the transfer portal, you get Evan Stewart, you got Mr. Nike basically saying, here's a debit card with your name on it, or a credit card with your name on it. Get all the money, all the players you can. And you come out and almost lose to the Idaho Fighting Vandals. Like Jared Allen, arguably, I don't know of any other alumni
Probably the only
more
one.
famous from Idaho. And it wasn't like Jared Allen and it was out there playing. You know what I mean? Like
No.
they, like you said, 17-14. I kept track of that game and I went, because I looked at that because I thought, man, I might take the over in that because I think Oregon just put it on them. I didn't do it.
Oof.
And I kept track because I want to see, hey, what's my gut tell me? Maybe react next time. And I looked and I went, you got to be kidding me. I go, at this point, just win. Let's go, Idaho. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah. At that point,
Gabriel needs to get his stuff together if they want to have a chance to win.
Yeah. They needed to spend more money on the offensive line and transfer portal. That line got dominated by Idaho. So week 1 in the books, good first week, college football. Week 2, we got a couple big games. Let's break down some of the big games. Only 2 ranked versus ranked games. We'll start with the big one, big noon kickoff, 11 o'clock Central Time. Number 3, Texas at number 10, Michigan. This line now, at the moment of this recording of this podcast, Michigan is getting 7.5 at home in the Big House. Only the second meeting ever between these two schools. First time in the Big House. The previous time was the 04 Rose Bowl. Vince Young defeated Michigan. Dusty Mangum had the 37-yard field goal to beat Michigan in the Rose Bowl. Texas, like I said, rolled Colorado State. Michigan struggled offensively and had a late pick 6 to put away Fresno State. They win 30-10. Now, I'm sure both teams are holding stuff back for this game, figuring they were going to win. So I don't think you can base what's going to happen on this game based on what Michigan, how they looked against Fresno State. But I think their offense did look concerning. Jimmy, break it down. Texas at Michigan coming this Saturday.
Well, I can tell you, if I'm a Michigan fan, I'm betting Texas. And if I'm a Michigan fan, I'm extremely worried because if that's us holding something back and across the field, I have to, across the country there, I have to look at a Texas team who's holding something back. I'm very concerned if I'm Michigan because if that's Texas holding something back, what is Texas when the gates are open and it's whatever you want to do?
In his press conference this week, he admitted it. Said, yeah, actually, we've been working on plays for Michigan all summer and all training camp. The guys didn't know that those plays were only for Michigan until we get to the practice week. And we're like, why didn't we run these plays last week? And we're like, well, we're running them. We've been practicing them because we're going to run them against Michigan. So he admitted, yeah, we got a whole playbook ready for Michigan. So offensively, Texas looked good, and they're going to have some new wrinkles for Michigan. They're going to need it because the Michigan defense is legit. Maybe the top defense. You got the best cornerback in the league, Will Johnson. He's a shutdown corner. You got the best 2 defensive tackles, Graham and Grant. The edge player, I think his name's Sherman, number 0 for Michigan. Best player on their defense, I think. I mean, they got a heck of a defense, but their offense, they went with the walk-on kid. Great story. Had cancer, walked on to Michigan, won the starting job. But their offense, they got a stud tight end. I think Texas offensively is going to have enough to score some points. I think Michigan's going to really struggle to score enough points on offense because their offense, unless they can really control the game and run the football, it's going to be tough for Michigan to score some points.
I agree. And Texas's offensive line, I think, is going to be up to the challenge of this Michigan defensive line. Like you said, maybe one of the best defensive lines in the country, or maybe the best defensive line in the country. But I liked what I saw from the Longhorns. Again, my preseason national championship pick. I liked what I saw from Ewers. Arch comes in. Arch looks good. They have the athletes. The offensive line is good enough that kind of doesn't matter what running backs back there. Blue looked good. Texas's defense flew to the football, and I
Held
I don't
up.
see how, based on last week, like I said, unless Michigan literally said, we're going to run the simplest offense ever, and we have all these weapons locked in the shed that we're going to get out, I'm sweating
Yeah.
if I'm Michigan.
Uh, the Texas secondary looked much improved. That was a big focus for the Longhorns after getting torched by Washington in the playoff last year. They held now Colorado State had a returning quarterback and a NFL receiver were the number 9 pass offense in the country last year. Colorado State was. The Longhorns held them to 73 yards pass,
Yeah.
and 2 interceptions. So the secondary looks much better. I don't know. Michigan doesn't look like a team that's going to be able to throw the ball on the field. Now they got a tight end that Texas probably don't have anybody who can cover their tight end. So if it's going to be third manageable, that tight end's probably going to find a way open. He might be the first tight end taken in the draft. Loveland from Michigan. So that'll be a focal point. I think Michigan, the game plan's simple. I think Michigan's going to try to shorten the game, run the football, play power football, make Texas stop the run, and try to shrink the game and win with ball control, and then play great defense, force and blitz Ewers, and force them into some turnovers. So I think that's going to be the game plan for Michigan. It'll just be interesting to see how aggressive Texas gets and tries to get out to an early lead. Game 2 in our big games of the week breakdown. I'm really excited for this one, Jimmy. Arkansas Razorbacks going to Stillwater to take on the Oklahoma State Cowboys. Both teams looked impressive week 1. Both teams got wins over FCS schools. Arkansas 70-0 over Arkansas Pine Bluff. Oklahoma State got like a 24-point victory over the defending national champs in the FCS, South Dakota State. Oklahoma State at home, a 7.5-point favorite at the time of this recording. Break down what you're looking at, Arkansas at Oklahoma State.
I have a pick on this game too when we get to it, but Alan Bowman and Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon, a lot of people's preseason Heisman pick. They combined for 371 and 5 touchdowns. On the flip side, Green and Jackson for the Razorbacks combined for 330 and 4 touchdowns. Almost even there, advantage Oklahoma State by the numbers. I think it's going to come down to Arkansas's ability to stop Ollie Gordon. If I'm Oklahoma State, Ollie Gordon obviously is my first option. He'd be my first option regardless who we're playing, because that's going to set up Alan Bowman. Because I know, I don't care how funny I am on the microphone if I'm Mike Gundy. I don't care how many times I'm 40. I'm a man. I know that if the game is decided on the arm of Alan Bowman, I'm in trouble.
Yes.
You got to get Gordon going. If you're Oklahoma State, got to get him going. That's going to set up Bowman to be able to pass. Offensive line, like we talked about, most experience in college football, returning all those guys. Arkansas's defensive line got a guy, NFL guy, Landon Jackson, coming off the end. They've got some new guys there in the trenches. If they can, you're not going to be able to stop Ollie Gordon, but if we can do about as good a job as we did on Leonard Fournette, really kind of bottled him up. I don't know if he got right under 100 yards. I don't know if he ever rushed for over 100 against Arkansas. But if we can make Alan Bowman have to throw the football, I like our chances. But if Ollie Gordon runs for 200 plus, I think it's going to be a long day in Stillwater. Plus, those fans are rowdy. They've got bad taste for the SEC in their mouth with Texas and then Oklahoma leaving. So they're going to come out their A game, and this is going to be a better test for Petrino and the offense. We've seen what you can do against an FCS opponent. Let's see what you can do against a Power 5 opponent. So I'm really excited for this one. This is the game that'll swing each team's season.
Yeah, especially if you got a regular season win total in Arkansas. This is the game. You get this one, you're off to 2-0 start. A couple things I'm looking at in this game. You mentioned it, Oklahoma State, the most experienced offensive line in the country, maybe the top running back in the country, and Ollie Gordon. That's going to be the game plan, like you said. That the game plan is going to be to run Ollie Gordon as much as possible. If Arkansas can make Alan Bowman throw it on third down, that's what you need to do. You got to stop Ollie Gordon on first and second down. Alan Bowman in his 7th season, there's enough data out there. It's like DJ Ugalele. he's a turnover waiting to happen. So you got to stop Ollie Gordon and force Oklahoma State to throw the ball on third down. That's for Arkansas. On the other side, when Arkansas has the football, the quarterback Green, electric with his legs. One of those runs he had against Pine Bluff was amazing for a touchdown. Somehow he scrambled out of like 10 tackles to get a touchdown. I'm looking at that. Oklahoma State plays a kind of a bend, don't break kind of defense. They really play back. They don't let you go over the top. They really make you move the ball down the field. So I'm looking at this. Arkansas have enough discipline on offense if they can't hit the long shots to continue to move the ball, not shoot themselves in the foot with penalties, no turnovers, and how explosive can Green be running the football and attacking the defense in the run pass conflict? So that's what I'm looking for. I think it's going to be a really good game. I'm a little surprised the spread is over a touchdown, 7.5 right now. But I think it's going to be a great competitive game that I'm excited to watch. Last game we're breaking down, another ranked versus ranked matchup. It's a night game. It's actually in Charlotte, North Carolina, 6:30 Central Time kick. Number 14, Tennessee, taking on number 24, NC State. NC State is getting 8 points. So Tennessee favored in this one. Tennessee freshman quarterback Nico Amalave, I believe is how you say it. I've heard some people compare him or say he's the best quarterback in the country right now. And he might be, after one game, if he was eligible, be the top pick in the draft. He's that good of a quarterback prospect. NC State did not look great against Western Carolina. They're going to have to really play better, especially on offense. They got Grayson McCall. What do you think, Tennessee, NC State?
I have a pick on this one as well. Tennessee had 718 total yards in their 69-3 win this last weekend. North Carolina State had to come from behind a couple times on Western Carolina.
Yes.
So that to me, like you said, Grayson McCall, I liked him at Coastal Carolina.
He did not look great. He did
State.
not look great against Western Carolina.
He did not look great. He and Dylan Gabriel pretty almost mirrors of each other, just underperformed based on expectation. Yes. And Tennessee, like you said, is rolling with I'm going to lay out or however you say his name. And I expect him to, like I said, I've got a pick on this, and eight may not be enough.
Yeah, I'm kind of
may not be enough.
I'm picking up what you're putting down. This one could get out of hand early. I don't know if NC State's going to be ranked much longer. Better enjoy it while you have it. A couple other two side games that are interesting. The Cyhawk game, you got Iowa hosting Iowa State. Actually, I have a pick on that one. And then Nebraska-Colorado night game. I think that one's going to be interesting. Colorado did not come through for me last week. They won, but they didn't cover. That's all that matters on this show. As they beat North Dakota State. And Nebraska looked good against UTEP. It was their freshman quarterback, Dylan Raiola's first start. Big test. Nebraska's favored by a touchdown at home against Colorado. Iowa in the Cyhawk game. Iowa State just never wins this game. Iowa always finds enough. It's in Iowa. Iowa's favored by 2.5, so we'll probably get more into that. I got picks on both those games. So that's kind of week 2 in college football breakdown. Let's transition to the NFL. It's the first time we're talking NFL. The NFL does open up this week. Pretty excited. We've got a couple great games. Thursday, you got the Chiefs, Super Bowl champs, hosting the Ravens. And then Friday, you got a Friday night NFL game this week over in Brazil. It's the Eagles and Packers. And then, of course, games all day Sunday and a Monday night game as well. Before we do that, let's pick our Super Bowl champs. I'll start. I don't know how you can't pick the Kansas City Chiefs right now. They've won it 2 years in a row. Patrick Mahomes has won it 3 of the last 4 years. It's hard to pick against Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs until somebody knocks them off. They're my default champion. I think there's going to be some teams that could challenge them. I'm going to say Chiefs over the Lions in the Super Bowl. That's going to be my Super Bowl pick this year.
Well, I'm going to go field. I'm going to play the field on this, right? Because no team has ever won it 3 years in a row.
Correct. Safe bet.
Steelers, Dolphins, Cowboys, Chiefs.
No.
A few of them have won 2 in a row. Nobody's ever won 3 in a row. I'm going to go with history on this. So I'm going to go against the Chiefs. And I think the winner comes out of the NFC. And I think it's the winner of you're going to think I'm crazy. I think it's going to be the winner of the Cowboys and the Lions
Okay.
in the NFC Championship game wins that. I like that Lions pick. I like Goff. I like their team. Man, Aiden Hutchinson, like we've talked about before, boy, Dallas just missed uh, on Michigan defensive lineman, I think.
Yeah.
We draft Taco, and we miss Hutchinson. So yeah, I like him. I like their defense, and I like Goff. Goff's, he stepped in nicely to replace Stafford. The city's embraced him, teams embraced him, and Dan Campbell is the Nick Saban of the NFL. He will
Agreed.
make you run through a wall. He is that good of a motivator,
Yeah, he's great.
and I think the Cowboys have talent. And I'm just going to gamble and say they get it somehow together this year. So who wins that game? I'll go Dallas. Let's just go. Cowboys win the Super Bowl this year,
Cowboys
Trey.
win the Super Bowl. Jimmy,
Mark it down.
you are a lot higher on the Cowboys this year than I am. I'm
Mark
rather
it down.
down on them. I actually have them barely squeaking into the playoffs. I have the
The
Cowboys.
state of Texas wins the college football and the NFL
Hey,
championship.
talk about a dream scenario for me. I'd
Yeah,
love every
there you
minute
go.
of it. I I'm down. I'm not optimistic. I'm optimistic on the Cowboys every year. I'm not this year. I got them going 10-7, squeaking into the playoffs. I mean, their first 10 games, if they're 5-5, I think that's what I'm looking. I think they're at best, I think they're 6-4 through their first 10 games. They got some quality opponents, some tough matchups. I'm predicting the Cowboys go 10-7, get first round of the playoffs, be that 7 seed, and have to play the 2 seed, probably the Lions or Niners. And I think they lose like they've done 3 years in a row. Now they have gone 12-5 3 years in a row. But
That's our new 8-8.
they've won one playoff game in those 3 years. So you got to buy and win the division, got to buy loss to the 49ers at home. Just got beat by the Eagles for the division, got the 5 seed, lost to the Niners on the road. Brock Purdy's rookie year, lost 12-9 or whatever it was. That was just disgusting. Last year, win the division, but lose to the Packers first round of the playoffs. I see them making the playoffs, going 10-7, and losing the first round again. And that's just where I'm at until they prove me wrong. I'm really down on the Cowboys this year.
Yeah, a lot of people are. And honestly, I'm just sort of kind of throwing it against the wall, seeing what sticks here. And
Yeah.
I'm going, this is perfect. This is the perfect season.
This would be.
Finally, people don't have
Win.
expectations. Yeah. Well, this is the perfect season for us to do something because people are tired of the expectation. People finally, I believe that fans finally are going, yeah, I don't have any expectations. I think that's evident by the lack of fan presence at spring train or
Yeah.
excuse me, training camp.
There's no buzz around them this year. There's no buzz.
No, that's right. That's
There's nothing
why
to
I
give
think
us
I go, you know
excitement.
what? This will be the year. This will be the year
Hey.
we at least get to the conference championship game.
Well, I hope they do. I'm not a believer. So we'll see. They open up at the Browns. Opening game Sunday afternoon kickoff at the Browns. Browns are actually favored 2.5. Two really good defenses. Deshaun Watson's quarterback for the Browns. Mike McCarthy is only 1-3 in the opening games.
Mhm.
He won last year. He beat the brakes off the Giants last year. But before that, he lost to the Buccaneers twice and the Rams before that. So he's 1-3 in opening games, 0-2 on the road. No, well, last year was on the road. 1-2 on the road, opening games. I mean, I kind of got this one as a loss, but how do you see it? Cowboys at Browns. Browns favored by 2.5.
I think this one's going to come down. I like that line 2.5. I think it's a field goal win either way.
Yeah.
This strikes me as one of those games where the team that's got the ball last is going to win. Like you said, both good defenses. We're going to get to see Myles Garrett go up against Tyler Smith. See what we've got there. We know we like him. We like Guyton. I like our offensive line, Cooper Beebe. But Deshaun Watson kind of is my wild card in this because how's he going to be? And if he's Deshaun Watson like we're all used to, that could be big trouble for the Cowboys. But he's old massage table Mike or whatever his nickname was. then I think the Cowboys end up upsetting the Browns. But I think this very much is a last person to have the ball wins.
Yeah. Excited for the NFL. Like I said, a good Thursday night game, Chiefs Ravens. Friday night game is going to be a good one, Packers and the Eagles over in Brazil. Sunday night's a great game. It's Rams at the Lions. So NFL gets started this week. It can be a fun time, full football weekend here. But let's get to the last segment, what everybody's here for, the picks. Now, one of us had just a phenomenal week on the show in picks. The other one still is a goose egg. Hadn't even got a hit yet. And that'd be myself. I was 0-4 in my Gridiron Grind picks last week. Jimmy, an incredible 4-1. So Jimmy out to the early big lead here on the Gridiron Grind. A lot of ball left to play, but I think you're coming with a 10 spot this week?
10 spot, 5 in each. Give me 5 college, 5 NFL.
I got 7. I got 4 in the college, 3 in the NFL. So let's get it started. Remember last year we tore it up in the NFL. I mean, we were like a combined 65% picking NFL games. But last year with the under hit at an astronomical rate, and we just rode that train. We got on it early before anybody else did in the YouTube betting content game, and we just rode that to the end, and that's why we had such a high winning percentage in the NFL. So we'll see if we can repeat it. I'll let you start with we'll do college games first, then we'll transition to the NFL. So who you like for your bets in college football?
First one right out of the gate, Arkansas, Oklahoma State. Give me over 62.5. Those reasons I said earlier, Bowman and Gordon, 371, 5 touchdowns. Green and Jackson, 330 and 4 touchdowns. Even though I think there's going to be some emphasis on the ground game, I like Petrino and Gundy's offense to really get some points on the board. And I think the over in this, I think we've got, this will be 40s to 30s, 30s to 30s, and I think this over hits. I like both offenses in this.
Hopefully, the sports book counts it this week. Now you got kind of shafted last week, because they limited it to 10 quarters because it was such a blowout, and they didn't honor the bet, which is bogus because the less time hurts your bet. You have did you have over 63 or something to that effect?
Last week it was Arkansas. Over 57.5, and in the second half they went to 2 10-minute
so it didn't even matter. I mean, they scored 2 touchdowns over, and they didn't. I mean, just they'll find a way to get out of every bet.
Barstool or DraftKings, one of the two, I think, kept it, but every other book used that as their opportunity to cancel the bet because apparently there was not life-changing money, right? But there was enough money on Arkansas to cover the spread and the over that the books didn't want to pay it out. So this week, I don't think that happens. So give me the over 62.5.
All right. I got Georgia Tech at Syracuse. Syracuse got a pretty good offense. They're at home, but I like Georgia Tech. Syracuse defense is not good. It's really bad against the run, and that's something Georgia Tech showed they're going to do really well. They ran the ball well last year. They ran it down Florida State's throats. I think Georgia Tech does it again. Give me Georgia Tech -3 on the road at Syracuse, going with the Fighting Yellow Jackets.
I like it. Kyle McCord, Ohio State transfers to Syracuse. So
they struggled with Ohio last week and gave up rushing yards. So I think Georgia Tech's way better than that. I really like Georgia Tech in that one.
Yeah. My next one, Baylor, Utah. Give me under 55. Baylor beats Tarleton 45-3. Utah beats Southern Utah 49-0. Neither of those games go over 55, and those are against lesser opponents. We know what Utah's defense can do.
Yeah.
And I think Baylor's defense has improved. So I think this is an under game. Baylor, Utah, under 55.
Nice. My next one's in the Cy-Hawk game. Iowa hosting Iowa State. Like I said, Iowa wins this game every year. They just do enough, find a way. They're favored at home by 2.5. I think they get it done again. I mean, I've bet this game every year, and I just take Iowa, and I'm like 9-1 in the last 10. So give me the Iowa Hawkeyes -2.5 at home against Iowa State.
I like that. Poor Iowa State. They just
can't get it done.
But Iowa's got that good luck on their side, man. One of the coolest traditions in college football is
absolutely
they wave at the hospital, Children's Hospital.
Karma.
Love it.
Yeah,
it's karma. You're right. My next one, Middle Tennessee State at Ole Miss. Over 63.5. Ole Miss, by the way, I tell you what,
Holy
if they
cow.
keep this up, Ole Miss could be a dark horse national title contender. There's not very many people picking Ole Miss to win the national title. And I'm
No,
telling you what,
that offense is good.
772 total yards, 176 to nothing. I think Lane Kiffin reminds me a lot of Jimmy Johnson in the hey man, I call the plays. It's your job to stop me.
Yep.
And I think Lane Kiffin's going to keep running the score up as much as he can. Uh, Saban's gone. I think that kind of best coach in football and this and that's up for grabs. And I think Lane's trying to make his mark. So give me the over 63.5 in Ole Miss, Middle Tennessee State.
All right. A lot of points on that one. I'll go my third one, Kentucky hosting South Carolina. South Carolina barely squeaked out a win against Old Dominion. Kentucky had weather problems, but when they got to play, they look pretty good. I think their offense is going to be actually really good. And they always play good defense under Stoops. I think South Carolina is really bad. And after what I saw from Vanderbilt, South Carolina might be the worst team in the SEC. I think Kentucky's a middle to right above middle in the SEC, which the quality depth of the league is unreal. I think Kentucky at home, they put a whooping on South Carolina. So give me Kentucky -10 at home against South Carolina.
I like that. I got next one. Tennessee, North Carolina State. Give me Tennessee -8.
Yeah,
Said earlier, I don't think 8's going to be enough. 718 total yards for Tennessee and a 69-3 win. And North Carolina State had to come back a couple times on Western Carolina. Like I said, I'm going, man, Grayson McCall did not look good.
No, he didn't.
And I'm going to lay you out, or whatever his name is, looked phenomenal. And I think they carry it over this week too. Give me Tennessee -8.
Yeah, I love that bet. I love that pick. Might see that coffee with Creta Saturday morning, depending on what the line does. My last college bet, Nebraska hosting Colorado Saturday night. Again, it's kind of the same thing. Colorado did not impress me at all. They did get the win, but there's still a lot of holes with that team, especially on their defense. I think Nebraska is much improved. It's a touchdown. I think Nebraska is going to throw the ball all over the place on Colorado. So give me Nebraska -7 at home against Colorado.
I like it. My last college pick. Appalachian State at Clemson. Give me App State +17.5. Clemson looks bad.
Yes.
Dabo, I know it was Georgia, but only 188 total yards. Dabo, to me, and Norvell are on the hot seat. The ACC might be looking for 2 new coaches at the end of this season, because those programs that finally hit Florida State historically has been one of the best under Bobby Bowden, right? They've won national championships. They've had Heisman Trophy winners. Clemson under Dabo, relatively recent success. And, Trey, it's like when you reach a certain level of income, you get used to that, right? You surround yourself, more money, more problems, right?
Yep.
Clemson and Florida State been used to a certain level of success, especially Clemson. Well, that's gone. And those fan bases and these universities aren't going to put up with it. And this is another game that's going to get Dabo close to being out. And I think App State covers that 17.5. Might even win the game, but I at least think they cover, because Klubnik looks bad.
He's not good, and the receiver's not good. They won't use the transfer portal to fix their problems.
Yep.
Clemson, yeah.
You could see it on Dabo's face.
That looks like
Dabo
an 8-4 team at best. Clemson.
Yep.
8-4 team at best. Okay, so that's college. Now we go to the NFL. What do you got? Another 5 in the NFL?
Another 5 in the NFL, man.
All right, I'll let you start with your first NFL bet.
Give me Thursday. Chiefs and Ravens. Chiefs Super Bowl champs. They're going to be worried about that. We got T Swift. We got Another Brothers podcast. We got Chunky Soup. We got everything but football. We got behind the back passes in preseason. We got everything but football. Ravens money line +125.
Going Ravens money line. All right.
Money line. Ravens money line 125. Baltimore's focus. Nothing fuels a team more. Nothing drives a team more than to come in and run someone's special night. Giants did it to us when we opened Jerry World. The Ravens are going to do it to the Chiefs on the first, Super Bowl night, and Chiefs won't be able to shake it off this time. Ravens money line +125.
I love that bet. I mean, I would take the points, but money line's bigger payout. I like it.
Yep.
I think the Ravens win that game. All right. I got the Giants hosting the Vikings. Giants, one of the only NFL home teams getting points at home. And the NFL is a different animal. You give a home team points, gimme. I'm going to take the Giants, as bad as they are, plus 1.5 at home against the Vikings. Vikings are starting Sam Darnold at quarterback. Gimme the points with the Giants. Giants plus 1.5.
Nice. My next one's Giants Vikings too, and I have the under.
Yeah.
For the reasons I have the under is because the guys that are under center, Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones. Neither of those guys impress me. So give me the under. I think these are two bad teams offensively. I think the Vikings have pieces, but good luck catching passes from Sam Darnold. So give me Vikings Giants under, and I'll go to my next one. Panthers Saints under. Two more teams, quarterback issues, under 42. Giants Vikings, Panthers Saints, both under 42. We're going to get on the under train again this year, and I think it keeps going. Bryce Young's not good, dude. And the Texans lucked out. Bryce Young might be the next Ryan Leaf type deal. Good job for the Texans getting Stroud.
I like both of those. Both teams, all four teams stink at quarterback. All right, my next NFL game, it's Sunday afternoon. Washington Commanders with new head coach Dan Quinn. They're on the road at the Buccaneers. Washington getting 3.5. I think this is a field goal game either way. I'll gladly take the points. Commanders plus 3.5 at the Buccaneers.
Nice. Mine's Bears Titans under 44. Rookie Caleb Williams looks good in preseason. Now it's for real. Titans defense is decent.
Yeah.
Under 44 Bears Titans.
All right, last pick. Rams, Lions, Sunday night. I'm going on the under train. Give me under 51. NFL, you game getting the 50. Last year was automatic under bet. I'm going to do it again. So give me under 51 Rams and Lions Sunday night.
50. Anytime you get a 50 score in the NFL, take the under. You're gonna get paid more likely than not, more often than not. So good bet there, Trey. My last one, Monday night game, Jets 49ers. Assuming Aaron Rodgers plays longer than the number on his jersey. I think this ends up being a chess match. Two elite defenses in the NFL. Can you call Brock Purdy elite? He doesn't razzle dazzle you. He doesn't make the and Aaron Rodgers makes, he doesn't throw you open, but what doesn't he do? He doesn't turn the football over. Well, that's going to be tested against this Jets defense with arguably the best secondary in the league, led by Sauce Gardner. Flip side, Aaron Rodgers, okay, he's coming back. Again, Achilles injury. How's that going to be? Well, now hey, you better hope the Jets offensive line can hold up. You got guys like Bosa, you got Greenlaw, you've got some guys on that line. Again, another elite defense. I think the under. Two elite defenses going at each other screams under to me. Give me under 44 Jets and 49ers.
All right. So you're starting off strong in the under game this year. That one's 44 as well.
Yeah, it's crazy. A bunch of them are 42, 42, 44, and then that 51 you had, which I think I'm going to hop on as well. That's a great one.
And there's also the stat of week 1 primetime games are unders.
Mm-hmm.
So, all right. Well, here's the rundown. Of course, if you're on YouTube, we put it up on the screen. If you're on the podcast, I'll give you the quick rundown. You couldn't follow along. So the recap of our bets. We'll start with Jimmy. Jimmy has a 10 spot for you. 5 college, 5 NFL. His 5 college bets are Arkansas, Oklahoma State over 62.5. Baylor, Utah under 55. Middle Tennessee State, Ole Miss over 63.5. Tennessee -8. Appalachian State plus 17.5. Jimmy's 5 NFL. He's got Ravens money line over the Chiefs. Vikings, Giants under 42. Panthers, Saints under 42. Bears, Titans under 44. And Jets, 49ers under 44. I got 4 college. It was Georgia Tech -3. Iowa -2.5. Kentucky -10. Nebraska -7. And then in the NFL, I got the Giants plus 1.5, Commanders plus 3.5, Rams, Lions under 51. That's our show. 17 winners we gave you for this week. Hopefully Jimmy stays hot. Hopefully I actually just win a bet this week after 0-4 last week. Fingers crossed. So we'll see. I can't be worse. Well, I guess I could be worse. I only picked 4 last week. I could be 0-7.
Yeah, but there's nowhere to go from here but up.
But up. It's a minor setback for a major comeback, as the kids say. So
That's right.
Be sure, like, comment, subscribe on the videos. Check out our website, gridirongrindsports.com. We're on Apple Podcasts where you can listen to our podcasts. We're also on YouTube, Gridiron Grind, to search our channel. Oh, also, I forgot, it's first Cowboy game of the season. We're doing our live Cowboys post-game show.
I think so.
Let's do it. So join us. That one's only on YouTube. We'll be live. We did it last year for the first time last year, and it was a big hit. I had a lot of viewers. So check us out and be sure and join us Sunday evening, right before dinner, right after the Cowboy game. We'll hop on for like 10 minutes. Just give our quick thoughts on the Cowboys opener against the Browns. So be sure and join that. We'll be live on YouTube right after the Cowboys-Browns game. So join us there. Again, like, comment, subscribe. Help us grow the channel. Love bringing you guys a grind every week. Been doing it for years, and it's been a blast. So going to keep doing it every week, and excited for this football season. Jimmy, have a great weekend, man. Watch some football, and I guess we'll see you next week. Let's make some money and win some bets.
You too, buddy. Have a good weekend. Go Horns, go Hogs, and
Horns and Hogs. Maybe a little Horns Hogs parlay, a little gridiron grind parlay. Never hurt anybody.
Might as well.
So
might as well. What's the worst that could happen?
Exactly. So,
yeah.
All right. Till next week. We'll see you guys.
See ya.